The GeForce Now was finally made available on the Steam Deck handheld, and it's one of the most popular topics among handheld enthusiasts these days. Now, I don't have any problem with cloud gaming being accessible on Linux-based handhelds like the Steam Deck, but the way it's being portrayed by some publications looks bizarre. I'm not against what they wrote. GeForce Now coming to the deck is definitely one of the best things that could have happened for deck users, but the problem is that they're not able to convey the full picture. The Verge wrote about how NVIDIA GeForce Now just resurrected the Steam Deck, and we saw a similar article from Tom's Guide which also praised GeForce Now. They both listed the pros and cons of cloud gaming on the Steam Deck, but it looks like many have forgotten that GeForce Now doesn't just run on the Steam Deck, it actually runs pretty well on most Windows-based handhelds too. Since GeForce Now didn't have any official option for the Steam Deck until now and still lacks proper support for Linux-based systems, it does feel awesome to finally be able to play on the deck for longer. But the whole argument that the Steam Deck can now run for 8 hours and stream high-definition visuals directly from NVIDIA servers doesn't really give it a massive advantage over other handhelds. GeForce Now is fully compatible with multiple operating systems like Windows, macOS, and even Chrome OS. Gaming handhelds like the ROG Ally, Legion Go, and other newer Windows-based models can handle cloud gaming just as well as Steam Deck. The fact that even a cheap Chromebook can do cloud gaming and run GeForce Now just fine tells you that you can have just as good of an experience with a Chromebook and a controller as you would on the Steam Deck. Now, people comparing the visuals rendered on the native hardware of the Steam Deck to those streamed from an RTX 4080 system are missing the same point. You can get those high quality visuals and high FPS on any other handheld device through cloud gaming as well. Similarly, the ROG Ally and other Windows-based handhelds can last as long as the deck or even longer when using streaming services like this. Personally, I'm not as excited about GeForce Now being available on the deck as some others are. I'm more interested in SteamOS becoming more mainstream. Valve did release SteamOS for the non-deck handhelds recently, and it's doing a decent job if we compare performance, user interface, and other features. There are still some bugs here and there, but eventually SteamOS will catch up to Windows in other areas as well. However, I'm not too thrilled about seeing cloud gaming becoming mainstream. The fact that you have to pay to play your own games on a device that's literally made for local gaming is just baffling to me. Sure, it adds longevity to handhelds because a few years down the line, you won't be able to use the decks or any other handheld's native hardware to run the latest games, but still, what's the point of buying a gaming handheld when all you're doing is paying for a cloud gaming subscription? Spending $700 on a handheld and then $20 a month just to play your own games, while also considering that many of your titles might not even be in the GeForce Now library, sounds like a senseless idea to me. I'm definitely not against playing on the cloud from time to time, but if your entire goal is to achieve 60 plus FPS on ultra settings on a handheld, then you are probably better off either building a high-end gaming PC or just buying a cheap Chromebook for cloud gaming. On the flip side, there are definitely some great benefits to using cloud gaming services like GeForce Now on Steam Deck. A few years from now, when your handheld struggles with intensive games, GeForce Now might help keep the device alive for several more years. By simply adding new games to your Steam library and assuming some of those are already available in the GeForce Now library, you can enjoy them anytime and anywhere provided you have a good internet connection. But again, it's also likely that some days you'll have to wait half an hour if there's a queue of people ahead of you trying to play the same game. As one author pointed out, even the Ultimate membership doesn't guarantee instant access. Since cloud servers are limited, it's natural that you won't always get into your game right away. Also, you need to have a nearby server if you want to avoid lag, since latency is a total mood killer and something most gamers can't stand. Moreover, if you are someone who plays more than 3 hours a day, a 100-hour monthly playtime cap might be off-putting. GeForce Now's Ultimate tier does allow 8 hours in a single session, but if you do that a couple of times a week, you'll likely have to fall back to your local hardware and suffer through choppy performance again. It might not be a big deal for most, since the majority of handheld users probably don't play for hours every day, but it's still a limitation you'll face despite paying $20 a month. Now, regarding cloud gaming, some articles suggested that GeForce Now is the future of the Steam Deck, but if that's true, then the ROG Ally and other handhelds will have to go the same route too. Those handhelds have superior hardware for now, but it's unlikely they'll keep up with the modern AAA titles 2 years from now. The only real solution then would be to replace your handheld with a newer and faster one. Right now, no handheld has adopted the Strix Halo, which is apparently the most powerful APU series for any device. Strix Point has made its way into handhelds like the One X Fly F1 Pro and the Zotac upgraded Zone handheld, but it's still a step down from the Radeon 8060S and 8050S in the Strix Halo lineup. It's better to see handhelds getting more powerful than becoming just another abandoned device that can only function through cloud gaming. I think we are just getting started with the handhelds, and considering how quickly manufacturers have improved in the last 2 years, we will likely have much more powerful handhelds in the next few years. Thanks to AMD and Intel's push for better integrated graphics, modern handhelds are finally catching up to budget graphics cards, which will probably keep cloud gaming from becoming the only way to play on handhelds, at least for now. That's all I had to say about this topic in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and please consider subscribing if you're new here. I'll make sure to release more videos regularly from now on, and hopefully we'll get back on the track in a couple of weeks.